left with no goodbye, not a single word was said. No final kiss to seal any sins. I had no idea of the state we were in. I know I have a fickle heart and a bitterness and a wandering eye and a heaviness in my head. But don't you remember? Don't you remember the reason you left me?
I want to tell you about something that happened to me. I was 17 years old and I was living with my boyfriend, and we were dealing drugs and hanging around with the Hells Angels and living in a really, really bad place. And even though I took precautions, I ended up pregnant. And I was on so many drugs at the time that I knew that if I had the baby, that the baby would end up deformed. I was smoking a lot of pot and doing a lot of cocaine and taking acid and mescaline and LSD and angel dust. And so when I say a lot of drugs, I really mean a lot of drugs. And plus I wasn't eating right. I was anorexic and I was really in a bad place in my life. So I ended up getting an abortion, and it really hurt, and the doctor was really rough. And I just want to tell you that if anybody says that it doesn't affect the mother, they're wrong. If they say that it's only a piece of tissue, they're wrong. Because as the doctor was sucking my baby out of me, I could hear it being torn. And it broke my heart. And the nurse came in, she's like, you know, you need to go. And I said, well, something is wrong. I feel sick. I think I'm dying. Something is wrong. And she's like, oh, you're fine, you're fine. And I was already burning up with a fever, and I was throwing up, and I was blacking out, and I was really sick. Something was really wrong. And he said, oops, we forgot some of the baby in there. And he actually used the word baby. So I knew that when he had performed the abortion before, that he had forgotten or ripped up. He didn't do a complete job, and it had ripped up the baby. And so I had part of my unborn child still in my womb. Anyway, he performed the abortion again. Apparently, this time he got the rest out. So I went home, and he had said that if I had gone home earlier, that night I would have died. I had to live with myself for a long time, and I hated myself for years. But the hardest thing was to forgive myself. And it took me a long time. The good news is that I was able to, years later, have another baby. He's my one and only. His name is Nick. He's awesome. So, if you're thinking of having an abortion, don't do it. Don't do it. It does affect you.